get heavily vaccinated.
Yeah,
they don't got it.
Just terrible. Yeah, I'll be able to teach you a shitload about that, about the corporate chemical injections they call vaccines.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is one of the questions
Yes, sir.
that I ask almost every youngster that comes into my gym, because I do boxing, kickboxing, MMA. I say, have you noticed, because you're 21, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. I said, have you noticed that there seems to be a high percentage of American males who are physically and mentally weak? Meaning they have no mental or physical fortitude. So they will quit real easy. They're not physically strong, and they're not mentally strong. So if something gives them if they meet a brick wall, they stop instead of going the fuck over it, or under it, or around it, whatever the fuck it takes.
Find a way.
Yes, find a way. All right, so the percentage, just say if 100% were physically and mentally strong,
Yes, sir.
or 100% was physically and mentally weak, what percentage of the 100% do you think, from your observation of American males, let's just say 13 years old on up to 40, 45, what percentage do you think is physically and mentally weak?
85.
85. Holy shit! There's only one that answered that question with a higher number than you out of all the ones I've asked.
What was that?
He was 90%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the vast majority that I ask of your age and all the way up to 40 and down to 13, I ask them and they generally will say about 70%. 70%. I'll be like, 70% is physically and mentally weak? And they say, yeah. And this one kid, he goes, oh, I'd say 90%. I was like, holy shit! I was like, I said, you know what that tells me about you? And he's like, what? I said that you're very observant.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And you were right there at it, 85. Holy shit! I tell these people all the time, I go to school board meetings, county commission meetings. I'm like, listen, y'all don't know this? I said, maybe y'all do. I said, but maybe you ain't thought about it. I said, we need men. We need men. We don't need crybabies.
Not men that act like women.
Yeah, we don't need men that act like women. We need men that are physically and mentally strong to harvest the fields, to build the roads and bridges, just to maintain them.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but we need men for harvesting the fields, for roads and bridges. I said for plumbing, for electrical, for HVAC, for maintaining the roofs over your head.
And maintaining the cars that you drive.
The cars that you drive. I'm talking about everything. I mean, just changing tires.
Mm-hmm.
You think these big ass trucks, you think these tires are made for a woman to lug around? No, it takes real men to move this shit. Pull off lug nuts that are freaking an inch and a quarter, inch and a half, 2 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
3 inches in diameter, the bigger ones.
I had some 39s on my truck. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Pretty hefty.
So Andrew, I'm just letting these people know, Andrew is a new hire for me. So I'm going to give him a shot, because I like to give everybody a shot and see how he progresses. Progresses. Oh Jesus, I hate to even use that word, progressive. So I'm going to see how he progresses, and mentally and physically, because I know what the odds are. I've had so many come and go over the years that I've seen the waning See, it's like a vaccine.
Yeah.
I've seen the waning of the physical and mental fortitude. I can't make this shit up. It's true. It's true. Even like we got a Florida Athletic Commission director. His name's Timothy Shipman. I call him Timmy. He's a bureaucrat. He runs the commission, and they have this thing called health and safety. And under the guise of health and safety, he likes to make decisions for grown-ass men. He likes for them to be like children of the state, literally. And he wants to tell them when they can fight. These are professionals. Tell them when they can fight, who they can fight, and if they're good enough to fight.
Exactly.
And he wants to, and even whenever they're not good enough, when they have a losing record, he wants them to send him video of their improvement,
Wow.
video of their training improvement, and a notarized letter from their coach stating that that this grown man has improved enough to maybe get another chance to fight another grown man voluntarily, with promoters, matchmakers all involved, who it's all professional, so they're all grown men voluntarily deciding their own decisions. If they want to fight, for how much, when, where, and how.
Exactly.
Except for Timmy. Timmy just can't have it. He can't have it. He has to be the big daddy. He's got to make sure he controls these men, because they could get hurt. They could get hurt. Now, the reality is, the best fucking fighter in the world can get hurt at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Can get hurt, die, whatever. That's the risk of life. And the perception that he is creating safety by denying grown men their rights is absolutely absurd.
I agree.
Because there's no matter how good or bad you are, if you take a guy who sucks and is 0-20, he done lost 20 professional fights, but for some reason or another, the promoter and matchmaker wants to give him another shot, and they could match him up with a guy who's 20-0. He's with a highly skilled, awesome fighter. There's no data, no evidence whatsoever that says that 0-20 guy is going to get any more hurt than if you match the 20-20 guy up, if you match a 20-0 guy with a 20-0 guy.
Right.
There's no evidence at all.
No.
Matter of fact, there's evidence to the contrary in my experience. Two fighters who are great, awesome, 20-0, 20-0, they're going to beat the hell out of each other, chances are, for a long time, and they're going to keep hitting each other in the head. But the 0-20 guy is probably going to lose in 10, 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And not get near the amount of brain damage. Not even close. Versus round after round after round. Fist, elbows, knees, everything. But even if it was the case, which it's not, it's an illusion, Timmy. What you're doing is an illusion of bullshit. But let's just say it was the case. We got to go back to the default position of grown free men can do what the fuck they want. And if they want to take a chance, so be it. Provide a competent referee, and it's done. Because the referee is supposed to stop the guys when they can no longer intelligently defend themselves. That's when you're supposed to stop it. And and I've refereed thousands of matches, fights, thousands of fights with no problems. I mean, other than the occasional sore loser, or the occasional you stopped it too early. I didn't tap. I didn't tap, ref. That was not a tap. Other than the occasional that type of shit, or the occasional he hit me in the back of the head. Well, you turned your You turned your fucking head. Every time the guy's throwing a punch at you, here comes a punch, you go.
Turn around.
So those are not rabbit punches. They call them rabbit punches, but they're not rabbit punches when you direct the freaking punch to the back of your own head.
Yeah.
You direct it there. That's not a rabbit punch. Although, you know, I've argued with that too. That you can't, you know, the UFC operated for 8 or 12 years with no regulations and no rules other than no biting and no eye gouging. You could hit in the back of the head.
Yeah.
You could hit them in the nuts. You could hit them in the spine. You could hit them anywhere. And there was no deaths. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
No Big Daddy Timmy. No Big Daddy Timmy. And they were able to operate with 0 deaths. The only time deaths ever came to MMA was when the state started regulating it. Started making weight divisions. Started, you know, and now they're trying. Now they're really trying in several states. In the ABC, they're trying to control the weight cutting of grown men. So if they want to cut weight to get to a certain weight, they just say they want to cut 20 pounds. The state's like, that's dangerous.
That's ridiculous.
But
That's what that is.
it's an overreach.
Yeah.
So they're wanting them to like weigh in the day before and weigh in just an hour or two beforehand, thinking that that's going to make them safer. They'll be on their natural weight. No, they won't. They just won't eat or drink until the final weigh-in.
Exactly.
I mean, they're making it even more unsafe. More unsafe. Every time they do something under the bullshit guise of health and safety, somehow they will find a way to make it worse.
Yep, to make it 10 times worse.
10 times worse. All right. Well, anyways, I'm gonna send this to Timmy because Timmy, I believe, has become a conditioned, weak-ass American male. He's my age, maybe 5-6 years older than me, just somewhere around that. I would like to know how old he is. I'll find out whenever I get their hiring sheets. But this is the main thing to me is that government is overreaching in every aspect of our lives.
Yes.
And they're overtaxing us in every aspect of our lives.
In every way.
Yep. They're trying to regiment every aspect of our lives. No. You can't do this. You can't do that. We went. Have you ever heard of Patrick Henry?
No, sir.
You probably haven't because of your age and because our school systems suck. But I mean, just in general.
Yeah, they do.
Just in general.
They do.
They do.
I agree.
Well, Patrick Henry was one of the founding fathers in that same era, and he said, "Give me liberty or give me death." And we went from that, from the founding fathers, the creation of this country, to them telling Great Britain to fuck off, and we're gonna fight. And it really came down to 2 things. They wanted the colonies to disarm.
Yes, sir.
And they wanted to keep heavily taxing them.
Yes, sir.
So they told them to fuck off. So after that, you know, they had a declaration, they had the signers of the Declaration of Independence. There was 56 of them. John Hancock was the largest signer of that because his big John Hancock went across the page.
Yeah.
But anyways, with all of them, Patrick Henry said that, and that, you know, that still to this day. So we went from give me liberty or give me death to bureaucrats like Timmy going, if it'll save one life, if it'll save one life, give up all your liberty. Give up that free man shit. You don't need me making your own decisions. It's too dangerous for you to make your own decisions, you grown-ass man, you. I mean, children of the state. Children of the state. That's what we have now. All right, missionobvious.com. Y'all go to my, make sure y'all go to my website, take a look. I dropped a new video a couple weeks ago. Take a look at it. It's called Operation Lockstep. Oh, it's interesting. And all of this shit is interesting, and I'm just advocating for freedom right here in the land of the free and home of the brave. Have y'all ever heard of such a slogan? That's a crazy slogan, isn't it?
It's a crazy slogan.
What the hell? They think they can just have freedom without Big Daddy Timmy? Yeah, that's where we are. All right, missionobvious.com, where pointing out the obvious is our MO. All right, adios, mofos.